Hey there, I'm Elise Archer, founding team member and personal brand strategist with Brand Builders Group. And I'm honestly a little bit nervous to do this video. I want to talk with you about something that is deeply personal to me, and I haven't really talked about it publicly before, but I just have a sense that it's something that someone needs to hear and that it will hopefully be of service by sharing about it. And so I feel called to share it. And what I want to talk with you about today is one of my fears about visibility. And it's a little bit ironic because if you're watching this video, you may have watched a lot of my other videos, and I put out a lot of videos, especially like on LinkedIn. That's my primary platform, and I have no issue creating a video that is about something business related. So if it's something that I know is of service to someone else, like my core target audience, my people, then like I have zero issue creating content and showing up and being visible about that. But one of the things that I've become very present to, I would say in the past, probably even just couple of weeks, is that any degree of visibility beyond that really kind of freaks me out. And so what I mean by that is a lot of the people who I love following online, it's like I really see all of their life, their home, their family, what they're doing outside of work. And when it comes to sharing things like that, for me, I always feel like it feels like too much. I've always kind of stopped at that point. And so, like, for example, my husband, Jason, and I, we just moved into this beautiful new home about a month ago. I haven't shared any of it. And there, weird thoughts show up. Like, I don't want it to seem like I'm bragging. I don't want to seem like it's showing off, or like, why would it even matter or be of service to anyone to show that? And I'm part of a coaching program. I joined a program recently with a coach named Gina DeVee, who's amazing. And part of that is that I have a mastermind partner named Megan. And she and I were on a call last week, and I was talking with her about this. And I was like, I really do want to like share more of my life and what's going on behind the scenes. And I know that's important for people to be able to get to know me, but I feel like I'm stopping myself here. And I was trying to really figure out what it was about and why I felt such resistance around showing more of my life than just the teaching type videos that I do. And she's so spot on with what she said. And shout out to you, Megan, because you really helped me with this. But she said, is it about taking up space? And it was just like, yeah, wow, it is. And for any of you who can relate to this, I just wanted to share this because I think sometimes we have these fears that hold us back in our adult life, and we're like, I don't really know where that came from, or I don't know why I would feel that way. And typically, not always, but typically you can trace it back to somewhere in your childhood. And like, I'm not a therapist, I'm not credentialed in any way, but I've just been doing a lot of like self-discovery and trying to kind of pull apart some of those things and messages and programmings that I got in childhood that does hold me back, that do hold me back at this point. And if you have this fear around being visible, I would encourage you to think about it. And it could be a number of different things, but maybe for some of you, it is about taking up space and that you don't deserve to take up space, or that that you're not enough to take up that space and to be seen. And one of the things that has just really shown up for me as I've done some of this work on myself is getting really clear that I love my parents. They are both amazing people. We grew up in a household that felt very tense to me. They went on later to divorce, and they're no longer together, and I think they're much better not married. And again, I love them both deeply, and I have great relationships with both of them. But there was I felt so much tension in our household growing up that it was almost like if I could only take up so much space without making it topple over, if that makes sense. And so what I learned was that the way to keep everything together is to minimize and to shrink and to be small. And it actually ended up, there's a lot that happened as a result of that, and I'll probably share more about that just over the course of different videos. But I developed an eating disorder where I starved myself. I got myself down to about 89 pounds. And I felt like the smaller I became, the more people would like me. and the more things would be okay. And needless to say, I've worked through a lot of that over the years, but there was still just this programming inside of me. And I think there still is to an extent, and I'm still like working through it, of not wanting to take up too much space for fear of hurting other people, for fear of making other people uncomfortable. And so I'm just sharing that today because I think once we identify what the fear is about, we're able to really work through it. One of the books that's helped me a lot is this book by Byron Katie, Loving What Is. If you haven't read it, I really, really recommend it. It was probably one of the most life-changing books that I've read, that helped me just really get clear on like, where are thoughts coming from? And is this really true? Is the thing that I'm thinking really true for me, or is it not? But if you've got that fear about showing up, it's not really you. That's the interesting thing. It usually comes from some sort of programming or some sort of messaging that you internalized from someone else that told you that you shouldn't show up. And so now after you've watched this, you can probably see why this was like a very personal thing to talk about and why I felt some fear about talking about it. But to me, it's very important to overcome that. And it's very important to be visible and show all of you, really, because there's so much beauty in who each of us are and the message that we want to share with the world and why we're here, and anything that's holding you back from doing that, it's not only not serving you, it's not serving the world. And so I'm really committed to like detangling any of those last threads of fear around taking up space and showing up. And I want to just really encourage you to do the same. And I don't have all the solutions. It's something that I'm figuring out on my own as I go. But if it's something that either you are working through or that you have worked through and you want to share in the comments below, like what helped you or what showed up for you, like please do. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But again, I just really felt like this is something that I need to share and that I really hope helps someone else. If you're kind of struggling with, I don't want to be visible and I don't know why, I hope this helped you. So I will be sharing more and even more of like my life and who I am beyond just business in future videos. And I'm excited to do that. And I really appreciate, your time and your attention on this video. And I hope that it was of service to you. So I will see you again in a future video, and I hope you have a beautiful day.